Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today I want to go over bees. Just the issues so many of us are having with bees and wasps. What can you do if you have bees? There are many feeders. I have talked about in many of my videos. I'll put the links to all the different ones that go over all the different feeders individually, but there are many of them that say that they're bee proof, and they are not. Please keep that in mind. I've looked them over, and if the holes are too big, they are not bee proof. Holes like what you can see here. Let me open my window where I feed the hummingbirds every day. And this one, though I love this one and it's made in the United States, is not bee proof. See the size of the holes? Now, there is this where it comes out the flower, which what it's doing is it's actually raising the plastic up so the bees can't reach it. But let me tell you something. Some of the bees can get their head in there. And if they can get their head in there and they can reach the nectar that is underneath, they can get in there, all right? I have told you that I get another type and I make the holes bigger. See how I made the holes bigger here? I did it with a soldering iron. You can use a hot knitting needle, and that will work too to make it bigger. But the moment I make them bigger, the moment I do that, it is no longer bee proof. It gives that little edge for the bees to be able to get in there, all right? So it is not bee proof. I'm going to show you that feeder that is bee proof, and I'm going to call it 99%. Keep that in mind, because I can never say anything's 100. If you read it and they've got flowers on it and they're telling you it's bee proof, you've got to look at it, because a lot of them have these flowers, these designs, and please go back and check my other videos. I've gone into all that with detail. If they can get their head in the flower, not this one, but the designs they've got, then they can get inside. Now, even some of the ones from the dollar stores, they put their head in there and it swings. And see how these feeders swing a little bit? Well, as they swing, sometimes the nectar is swinging too. Now, if it's swinging, it splashes on the side, on the inside, and then they can reach it, and that's what they're going for. So that's why a lot of times you will get bees hanging off the side trying to get whatever splashed. I personally do not have wasps that bother my hummingbird feeders. A lot of you do, and wasps are a little bit different. If you've got wasps, the only thing you can really do for them is you're going to have to find their nests, which a lot of times are on around the roof in different areas. If you've got an entrance hall in your building, they'll have their little mud huts there, and you will have to get them. You can vacuum the whole thing up if you've got a shop vac, but do it carefully and only do it at night and be prepared to run. Wasps are nasty to hummingbirds. They will chase them away, but then so will honeybees as well. Now, a lot of the honeybees that people are raising, they have taught them what sugar water is. But a lot of them do that when there's a shortage of flowers. They put out the trays. It's not everybody, but there's some. And so they learn, oh, hummingbird feeders, let's step back inside. We know what that is. And then they go after the sugar water. So we're kind of out of luck on that. And then there are some people that have bees. Not everybody, just a few, that take everything out of the hive, and the bees go crazy needing to rebuild that honey. Instead of taking out what they need and leaving for the bees themselves, well, they take too much. And that drives some bees also to feeders. So certain things do drive the bees to come to the feeders. Whether there's shortage of food, whether they can't find food, whether too much was taken out of their hive. Now, both bees, the wasp and the honeybees, will have to reach the food no matter what. And if they can't reach it, they can't get to it. Now, let me show you this. These two feeders are exclusive for Walmart. I've called the company. They're made in the USA, and they're nice feeders. Now, I'm not personally crazy about them, and I'll get into that in a minute. But they do keep the bees out. See how narrow that is? The bees cannot get into it. They've got the lift. Instead of the flower lift, it's got a disc. And then it's got that little slit. Now the slit is what worries me. Not so much you, but it worries me because we can have hundreds and thousands of hummingbirds feeding in the windows, especially in the evenings and early morning. And I worry that if one gets spooked, it might stick its beak into that tiny slit and could hurt itself. If nothing bothers it, they can put their beak in that slit. It's very thin, but they can do it, and they can lift their head out. So if you've only got a few, it should work fine. Now, one other thing on this. You need to have these set up if you're using the conventional ones. The reason is they get used to the conventional ones and the ones that they like. And then when they come to this, because the slit is so narrow, they don't know what it is. A lot of times they won't test it. So what I do, and I'm in the middle, as you can see here, I'm going through all my feeders. I drag them in, I wash them, I scrub them, I put them back out. I have a double set. I have to keep 1 or 2 of those out. So if the bees swarm here and I can't get rid of them, then I've got to put these out. And once the bees figure out they can't get in here, they leave because they can't stay all day. All they can do is check it out. They send a scout out, and if the scout says, hey, we found nectar, they will come back with all their friends and family and go into it. But they can't get into this one. So the moment I see bees come and I start seeing too many in the window, that's when I swap it out. I put the ones with the narrow ones in there. I might set some of the regular ones somewhere else until the bees come, check it out. Oh, there's nothing here that we can get into, and they leave. It could take a day, it could take 2 days. The hummingbirds aren't happy, but when they're hungry, they learn to use that one. And the reason is they already know it because I do keep one of those out. So they're familiar with it. So I hope I've given you some ideas and thoughts. And let's go over this real quick. These are really cheap. This is usually about $5. They used to sell them for $3, but they have gone up. And you know what? $5 and they last for years and years. Easy to clean. Really one of my favorite designs as far as taking it apart. And then this one is under $10, which is double the size if you had that many. You don't need it if you don't have that many. I would go with that. There is somebody I saw that had the link to them. Free shipping $5 or around that, 5 or 6. I'll put the link underneath the video. I know that the picture he is showing is this one. Let me open this up so you can see it better. That's the picture he's got. This is more money than these usually. So if you got that one, it would be a good deal, but that's not the one the person is shipping. They're shipping this one. And I know that for a fact that when I bought it, this is the one I received. I wanted to see if he really had that one because normally the one with the larger flowers on it tends to sell for about $8 to $10. Just whatever, that's just the way it is. This one is a Walmart exclusive. They get a special price. They designed it themselves, I was told, and these sell for less. So I'll put the link, but the bees cannot get in there. I would swap out the feeder the moment you notice some bees on there. And again, with wasps, try to find where their nest is and get rid of the nest if you can. And see, there's a bee out there. I just saw one fly by. Hopefully he doesn't find anything. If nothing is swinging and there's no sugar water on the outside, they tend to fly by and keep on going. It's when there's a lot of wind, it will shake around, or one gets in there, and then I may have to swap out the feeder. So I hope I gave you some ideas. I'll put the links to all the other ones and ideas on how to not have that issue. But you know what? I really enjoy putting out the ones with the larger holes because the Orioles are still here. They won't leave until September, and they can feed in the larger hole feeders as well. Go ahead and ask questions. I'll try to help as much as I can, and I hope this gave you some idea as to which feeders will work for you. With that, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.